Question number 7, Dr. Russel Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Transport and asks, is it government policy to ensure that the benefits outweigh the costs for new state highway projects prior to approving funding for them?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, yes, the government's general approach is to ensure that not just state highways but all transport infrastructure projects are assessed for full benefits over costs and are value for money, and that policy is of course implemented by NZTA. We also take into account the wider economic development, productivity and safety benefits when evaluating transport projects.
The Honourable, Dr. Russel.
Supplementary, thanks, Mr. Speaker. What are the corridor benefit cost ratios for each of the 7 roads of national significance announced in March?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, we don't yet have full BC ratios for every individual project on the roads of national significance, as the NZTA is currently developing and assessing the way in which those projects will be developed. I can, however, tell the member the Victoria Park Tunnel in Auckland has a BCR of 2.8 and the proposed Waterview connection has a BCR of 2.4, which compares with the previous Labor government's twin two-lane tunnel option of 1.2.
Michael Woodhouse.
Supplementary, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, has he seen any reports going back and analysing the benefits and costs of state highway projects after construction and how that compared to the pre-construction analysis?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I have. The Motu Group has conducted an interesting post-construction analysis of the economic benefits of the Auckland Northern motorway extensions to Silverdale and Orewa. Their report showed that the benefits of building the motorway, expressed in cost-benefit terms, was between 6.3 and 21 times the cost. This was far better than the pre-construction analysis and shows the potential for major new state highway projects to create strong economic benefits in the regions in which they are developed.
Dr. Russel Norman.
Mr. Speaker, why, or rather, how can it be economically responsible for the government in March to announce 7 roads of national significance and commit an additional $1 billion towards building them without any prior analysis of the economic costs and benefits of the projects, as the Minister admitted in his answer, and as has been confirmed from this letter from New Zealand Transport Agency, which says that even after the announcement of the 7 projects, no benefit to cost ratio analysis has been done?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, as I said, some elements of the roads of national significance have BCR ratios that are known currently, and the others will be known as the projects are developed over time. On the subject, though, of BC ratios, of course, they are only one part of the answer, because the Auckland rail infrastructure upgrades signed off by the previous government with support from the Greens suggested that they had a BC ratio of, to quote Treasury, about 1, which is about the most generous BC ratio assessment I've ever seen Treasury come up with so far.
Dr. Russel Norman.
Supplementary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does he support the commitment of his government towards high-quality spending? And how does he know that these 7 projects involving billions of dollars of taxpayers' money are high-quality spending when he announced that he would progress them before he'd done the analysis as to the benefits versus the costs?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, it is well known that the 7 projects referred to are corridors of absolutely national significance across the country, and of course supported by the road users and others in the communities. But each project before it proceeds is subject to a full analysis on the construction costs and the BC ratios, and the decisions will be made on that basis.
Dr. Russel Norman.
Isn't the Minister operating a double standard? Because on the one hand, he said to the Bus and Coach Association with regard to public transport projects that there has to be a cost-benefit analysis to see that they make sense in their own right, Whereas when it comes to these ideologically driven, economically illiterate decisions to invest in these 7 motorway projects, there is no requirement. There is no requirement for these 7 projects to actually have a benefit to cost analysis done prior to the decision to go ahead with the projects. It's a double standard.
Mr Speaker, I'm happy to have a conversation about economic literacy with the member opposite any time he cares to name.
Question number... Point of order, Dr Russell.
There was absolutely no attempt to answer that question or address the question.
Oh, no, I don't need assistance. The member should reflect on the question he asked, where he introduces into the question he asks that kind of material and expect that kind of answer. Question